Hello, thank you for being a part of our network. I hope it's not too late to say Happy New Year. Now, internet scams just don't stop and criminals are forever finding new ways to get money out of innocent people. Today, we'll tell you about two of those methods. A lot of people take selfies wherever they go. Many of us constantly update our social media pages, but what are the right and wrong ways of updating our social media pages? It's a discussion we'll have later in the program. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. We are on News Network at sabc.co.za. Let's start with your social media and technology news now. A story that has shocked many is that of a man who was murdered and then his phone was stolen. Later, photographs of two men unknown to his family started appearing on his Facebook account. It's suspected that the men whose selfies appear on the Facebook account are the criminals that stole the phone. Muidumelo Gasa tells us about it.
This is the Facebook page of Vincent Smith. He was shot and killed last year. His wife was also shot and she survived. The killers then got away with the man's iPhone and other goods. He had his Facebook activated. A few days after he had killed and his iPhone stolen, these selfies started appearing on his Facebook page. His wife had taken the case to an organization called eBlockWatch. eBlockWatch has now managed to track the men whose photographs appear on Facebook page. The investigators say the men are in Mozambique and believe that they are murderers and thieves. eBlockWatch has solved a few cases in the past. Once they've gathered the information about a particular case, they will then hand over all the information to the police.
The Africa Rising Foundation has issued a warning about a scam on Facebook. The foundation is run by Ndaba Mandela, the grandson of late former South African President Nelson Mandela. They say a fake Facebook account asking people to pay money has been started using its name. The fake account also uses Chairman Ndaba Mandela's name. The Africa Rising Foundation says the case has been reported to the police. They are urging members of the public who have paid money to also take their information to authorities. South Africa's matric class of 2013 gets its final results on Tuesday. There are many methods of receiving results. A newspaper is one, but you can use your technology and not leave your home to get them. Tile Kaswane tells us about some of the methods.
12 years ago, they entered the formal education system. Some of them rather unwillingly. And in a little over 28 hours from now, their 12 years of basic education will end. Monday night will be one of the most nerve-wracking evenings for the majority of the almost 700,000 matriculants of the year 2013. The SABC will have the most comprehensive online coverage of the matric results from all the 9 provinces. At 6 a.m. on Monday morning, Minister Angie Motshekga will announce the official pass rate of the class of 2013. It will only be in the early hours of Tuesday morning that the learners will be able to access their results on the different tech platforms available. The SABC education and news websites have dedicated pages for in-depth coverage of the matric results. These pages can be found on sabc.co.za/news. SABC Education is also providing an SMS service where matriculants can register for their results. The results will then be SMSed to them on Tuesday morning. Learners need to register by Monday and the SMS line will remain open until the end of January. For those needing to talk about the anxiety they feel in the run-up to the release of their results, there's professional help available. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group is Africa's largest mental health support group and offers free services. You can read more about them on sadak.org. You can also call them on the toll-free number if you're feeling depressed after receiving your results.
Nigeria's terror threats from Boko Haram have led to one local company to cash in. They've developed armored vehicle technology that is proving popular with wealthy Nigerians.
These mechanics are hard at work, building Nigeria's latest automobile trend, armored vehicles. Nigeria has faced a lot of bombings and kidnappings lately. These are often blamed on a group called Boko Haram, which admits to many of these bombings. So it's no surprise that Nigerians who are wealthy enough are looking for a new technology to try and protect themselves. Nigerian automobile manufacturer Proforce Defense is the first to set up shop for these particular security cars, and they are cashing in on the demand.
Because the president has come up with the automotive policy, it has now made people to start looking inwards. People now look inwards, and because people look inwards, they now start asking, calling us to submit proposals, to submit quotations all over the place. Not even only in the country. So many countries all over Africa have called us.
The armored cars were first popular among the rich as they represented a sense of prestige, but now the technology is catching on with many others all over Nigeria. A new luxury armored vehicle is said to cost about 4 million rand.
We've heard of how your profile on Facebook can be used by advertisers. Now the American social network is facing another lawsuit which accuses them of mining information in private conversations as well.
It seems like Facebook has had a rocky start to the new year. The social network site has been accused of scanning users' private messages and sharing the information with marketers and advertisers without users' consent. Plaintiffs Matthew Campbell of Arkansas and Michael Hurley of Oregon, USA, allege that the social media website has violated the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. The act protects users against unauthorized data collection by the government or companies. The two believe that this move was profitable to the social network giant. Therefore, the two slapped them with a class action lawsuit, demanding that Facebook pay about 100,000 rands to all users concerned. Facebook has disregarded the lawsuit and says it has no merit.
We often complain about how the cars we use pollute the environment. Now Ford says it plans to change that. They're showing off a solar car.
Every once in a while, there's a big idea that forever changes the way we live. Think electric light bulbs, washing machines, and maybe a practical solar car. Ford is set to show off its new C-Max solar energy at the International Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas next week. The automaker is looking to harness all the free energy the sun shines on us in a plug-in hybrid. The car's solar cells are, on their own, insufficient to power electric driving, so the car comes with a special parking canopy that concentrates the sunlight like a magnifying glass. Throughout the day, the semi-autonomous car moves itself back and forth a few feet to get the most sunshine. If the sun is unavailable, you can attach the C-Max solar energy to the grid like other electric vehicles. The new concept and ideas come into play when you've got a clear view of the sky. Unlike other solar cars, Ford says the new C-Max is practical for the day-to-day use.
The Indian Space Research Organization has launched the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. Its success is crucial for India as it would be the first step towards building rockets.
40 strap on the base route, -9.
8, 7.
After facing numerous setbacks, the Indian Space Research Organization, the ISRO, launched the GSLV D5 on Sunday.
Vehicle lifts off. Vehicle lifts off.
+4, +5,
चारों स्ट्रैप ऑन के प्रज्वलन के पश्चात सेंट्रल कोर जो थी.
This was the first mission of the GSLV after two such rocket launches failed in 2010. After ISRO's successful launch of its first rocket to Mars earlier, all eyes are now glued on the space body to see whether the GSLV would be successful or not. The ISRO planned to launch the rocket in August 2013, but had to abort it just hours before the deadline due to fuel leakage from its second engine. India launched its first rocket to Mars on November 5, 2013, aiming to put a satellite in orbit around the red planet. The move positioned emerging India as a budget player in the global space race.
We're on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter, news network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about viruses that enable fraudsters to take money out of your account.
to Your World on DSTV channel 404. Let's take a look at stories making headlines.
Unfortunately, most of the deaths occur in children in sub-Saharan Africa. And so the original focus and the continued focus of this vaccine is on preventing that disease and death.
What happens when you stop by an official who turns out to be, well, the president?
We're checking license.
Okay.
Is it fine and valid?
This stand is the biggest stand in Nairobi show. Of course, we have won the best foreign private exhibitor.
And that was Your World on SABC News, 404 on DSTV.
What time is it? It's question time. I do not trust your criticism because, after all, you don't like the members of this committee. Why should we believe that you're going to like anything that they come up with?
We can't trust the Professor Njabule Ndebele, who was the Vice Chancellor of Cape Town. Bani Pichan was the Vice Chancellor of UNISA.
That's question time with me, Mpho Tsedu, Monday to Saturday, 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
It's SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Now in Spain, police have arrested men who stole more than 600,000 rand meant for credit card users. The 6 Romanians and 2 Moroccans hacked into credit card processing firms. Another person linked with the scam was arrested in Germany.
6 Romanians and 2 Moroccans were arrested for hacking cash machines and stealing large amounts of money worldwide. The Spanish police, with the help of an unknown U.S. security agency, apprehended the suspects in Madrid on the 29th of December 2013. It was reported earlier last year that the hackers used a sophisticated malware to commit these crimes.
It is a type of virus. It's a type of virus which we call malware. So it's a piece of software, malicious software, that we eventually discovered inside the back office server of some selected retailers. This malware would then sit in the server and collect any magnetic stripe card data that came through the system. And then it would take this data and ship it off to this international syndicate that had inserted this malware in the first place.
South Africa was one of the countries that was also hard hit by the scam.
It's certainly the first of this kind. Last year, I think you might remember, there was a data breach, the so-called Paygate data breach, which was quite a big one. This one is even bigger than that.
According to reports, Spanish police say that the leader of the notorious network, an IT expert and skilled credit card database hacker, was arrested in Germany. Investigations continue.
To tell us more about various computer viruses used to defraud people is IT expert Dolile Vundla from TaxBank. Hello and welcome, Dolile.
Hi, Subul. How are you?
I'm all right. Now, we found out about this malware. Can you tell us a bit more about it? How sophisticated is it?
Well, it really is very sophisticated software because essentially what's happening is these guys have found a way to break into the bank's IT systems and find a way to embed themselves within that and actually start extracting information which they can actually then use to actually start defrauding clients' accounts.
Who do they take the information from? Do they take the information from the client maybe when you use your card, or do they take it from the bank itself?
Well, for this particular incident, it's actually from the bank itself. So clients really don't have any blame, if you want to call it that. Essentially, the banks themselves have been compromised and the hackers have been able to find a way to actually get into the bank's systems.
But they can take information from the clients as well?
No, they can, definitely. I mean, there's various kinds of malware that's out there that they can actually utilize to try, extract information from the individual users themselves.
Various kinds. Maybe in a roundabout way, can you just briefly tell us what kinds would be out there? And what do they do?
So I mean, basically, you've got 4 kinds of malware that's out there. You've got your viruses, which everyone knows about. And your virus is basically software that gets onto your PC and it finds a way to get itself onto your friend's PC or whoever you email or whoever you interact with. That's one kind. You've got your Trojan horses, which basically get onto your PC and hide on your PC so that you don't actually see what's happening, and they basically slowly extract information and send it back to whoever created the virus. And then besides that, you've also got your rootkits. Your rootkits actually act as your operating system, or they pretend to be part of your operating system, and they actually can do some destructive stuff to your operating system. So there's various kinds of malware that's out there, and one just has to really be careful. Make sure that your antivirus is always up to date, so that your virus definitions are always up to date, and you know how to counter whatever new viruses are always coming up.
Now, if I'm a client of a bank and then a bank is hit and then I lose money, am I protected? Can I get the money back?
Definitely. The banks obviously have insurance, and I think the key thing that you need to think about is, yes, the banks will do their investigations and make sure that it's obviously not the client's fault, and you will get your money back. I think the key thing you just need to think about is the time it takes for those investigations to happen and the recovery period for you to actually get your money back. So different banks have different policies of how they deal with these particular incidents and how they investigate them and come to a resolution of sorts.
How does one know that they've been hacked?
There's various ways. I think, so if you're on 3G, maybe one of the first ways to look at is to see your data activity. So if you see your data activity, you're not browsing, you're not doing anything, and suddenly your data bundle is getting exhausted, then it means there's probably a program that's running in the background doing something that it's not supposed to do. So that's probably one of the key ways that you can actually identify. There are other various ways, your PC will slow down, because it's doing other things that it's not supposed to do. So there's key ways or various ways that you can identify that your PC is not behaving normally, and those are really the key indicators that there's something happening that shouldn't be happening on your PC.
The first thing I do when I find out that I'm losing money?
Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure your PC is not connected to the internet. So that no information can be sent out, because I think that's the key thing. If your PC's been compromised, the first thing that happens is they have access to your information.
Yeah.
That information can be sent out.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is make sure that no connectivity is available, so that none of your information can be compromised further.
So
yeah?
Disconnect your PC.
All right, disconnect from the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have run out of time. Thank you very much for joining us. That's Tolile Vundla from TextBank. And now, if you have a cool app you're using, please record a video for us and tell us on the video about that particular app. Take the video with your phone as you navigate the app, then record yourself talking about it and tell us why it works for you. You can then send the video to us on Facebook or upload it on YouTube and share the link to us on Twitter or Facebook. This week's video comes from Johannesburg engineer Tepo Bareki. He loves his Skype app.
I'm an engineer, so I communicate with people in Nigeria, in Iran, everything. So the time is very important, the turnaround time when I want feedback. So with Skype, it's instant. You can drop documents, you can send whatever you want to send, videos. It's very easy for me. Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Those are just social outside the professional world. Instagram is also a very nice one. As you can see here. This is my favorite team, Barcelona. They are posting updates.
All right, just make sure that you're in a place where we can hear what you're saying on that particular video when you record them and send them to us on Facebook and Twitter. Let's take a quick break and then we'll return and talk about social media etiquette when we return.
Hello and welcome to Rights and Recourse, the show that explores your legal rights and recourse to those violated. I'm your host, Dumila Matez.
Will the ban on alcohol, or the marketing of alcoholic beverages, include things like sorghum beer, homemade beer, and those kind of things?
I think what is must be clear is that we are not banning the industry, not at all. We are controlling the industry.
As I'm sitting here, I'm actually agreeing with the minister violently.
Advertisement says to young people, it's cool to drink. Drinking is associated with success. Drinking is associated with celebrities.
We cannot afford to have adverts on television that glorifies alcohol.
That's Rights and Recourse, Sundays 2 p.m. on SABC News.
Welcome back. Now, we all have had to ask a friend to pay attention to us as they would be busy on their phone. We'll talk about social media etiquette in a minute. But do you remember that selfie everyone spoke about recently? It involved world leaders at the memorial service of former President Nelson Mandela in December. Then there was a Generations actress who took one that was found distasteful by many on social media. We all remember this selfie. Many around the world were questioning why the Danish Prime Minister used the memorial service of former President Nelson Mandela to take a pic with the American President and the British Prime Minister. The three world leaders never uploaded it in social media if that was the intention. Then there was this one of Generations actress Zamangcobo. After showing us accreditation, there was one with Madiba's coffin in the background. She was heavily criticized for uploading it with the hashtag #IWasThere. One of the critics was fellow Generations actress Katlego Tanke. But were they wrong? Were they wrong? Now joining us in studio to talk about social media etiquette is Janine Ferreira. She runs social media and content strategy for FNB South Africa. Hello, Janine.
How are you?
I'm all right. Now, good. Barack Obama, David Cameron, and Hal Schmidt, were they wrong?
I can't say they were wrong. It was a memorial service, so you won't think that people will do something like that. I mean, it's a case of a little bit of respect. That's what it's based on.
Let's go to the second one. Zamangcobo at the funeral of former President Nelson Mandela, standing in front of the coffin, and then she hashtags it #IWasThere.
She was wrong, in my opinion. You know, first of all, hashtagging I was here, it reminds me a little bit of Ken Arco 2010 World Cup. And for me, it kind of changes the whole somber, you know, we want to remember Tata, his funeral, into, you know, a little bit of a sport event or a little bit of a concert. And I personally think it was just showing off.
And now a lot of people take out their phones in restaurants and then they start tweeting or they start Facebooking or they chat to other people maybe on BlackBerry Messenger or WhatsApp. Is that rude?
I think it's a little bit rude if you're sitting across a table with somebody to take out your phone and have a conversation with somebody else. You know, it is a case of etiquette. It's a case of, you know, would you walk out of a room, you know, and go and stand outside and chat with somebody and leave your data around at the dinner table? Simple as that. So it is basically a case of what you will do in real life, apply that on social media.
There was a case that we heard about recently. It involved a certain PR person. Her name is Sacco. Justine Sacco is her name. And a lot of people found her tweet racist. Now, would you just briefly tell us, do rules then change when it comes to social media as opposed to real life?
Not at all. You're not anonymous on social media. And for me, the easiest way to measure whether what you are saying on social media is right or wrong is to kind of ask yourself, if what I'm saying at the moment gets published on the front page of the Star newspaper tomorrow morning, will I still have a job? Will I still have friends? Will I still be in a relationship? You know, you're not anonymous on social media, and for some reason people keep on thinking that they can say things that they will never do in real life. And, you know, she was wrong. And good on everybody for, you know, hashtagging has she landed yet. Good on
But
them.
it's my page. It's private. It's what I do in my private time.
It's your page, yes, it's your page, but it's not private. So if you take Facebook, for example, if your privacy settings are set to everything is private, nobody can see your tweets, your posts, except for your friends, you could probably post what you want to, but you know, if you say something wrong and one of your friends are offended, it's still going to, you know, bite you. It's as simple as that. Lots of people have booked sick days, called in sick to work, and then the next minute they tweet a fabulous day in Cape Town, and they got fired because they got caught out. Check in everywhere. You know, it's not private. It's as simple as that.
All right. Now, selfie etiquette. We spoke about these two wrong selfies, but where can I take a selfie?
You know what? You can take a selfie anywhere you want to, as long as it's above board. You know, don't want you uploading all kinds of weird selfies onto social media. No. You know, at the end of the day, we are, as people, we like showing off. You know, sometimes people are probably going to think you're a show-off if you take photos of yourself everywhere you go. But each to his own. As long as you don't hurt other people's feelings, as long as you just having fun, you know, by all means, take as many selfies as you want to and upload it.
Janine Ferreira from FNB, thank you very much for being a part of our network.
Big pleasure.
And that's all we have for you. Thanks for being a part of our network. The video we leave you with says get off your phone. As we've been talking about social media etiquette, it's uploaded by Red and Link there. It's SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me and the rest of the team, have a good one.
Here we have a man who's chosen the Instagram, his apple pie a la mode. While he fumbles through the filters, his ice cream has gotten a la hot and the pie a la cold. As you can see, this street performer's drawn a crowd to watch him do his thing. But instead of just enjoying the show, it seems everyone's decided to make a documentary. Notice this unreasonably attractive couple enjoying a reasonably priced Italian dinner together. Social networking instead of working on getting to know each other better. How does that filter taste your taste? Since your dessert has gone to waste, when do you think you ever will wanna watch this portrait juggling film? You know you want to touch each other. Doesn't that feel good?
He's my brother.
Get off the phone.